Hi kitties, and welcome to this new video on my channel. My name is Leah and hi. I feel like I haven't talked about my trip to I feel like I haven't talked about my trip to Japan at all. I don't think I really shared why I went there and why I loved it so much, and I don't know, so I hope this interests you guys. So Japan, I've been fascinated by Japan since I was a little child. My dad is a cinematographer and he traveled around the world, and I remember when I was this big, I was really small, and he went to Fukuoka to film the Olympics for the universities, I think, or something like that. And when he came back, the way he talked about it, he loved it. He loved it so much, and I could see it in his face, and I was like this, and I was like, wow, I want to go to Japan. And I was just so mesmerized by this country, even though I knew nothing about it. And I didn't know that Pokemon was from there, which I loved. I didn't know that video games were, for the most part, back in the 90s from Japan. So I didn't know all those things came from there. And I loved Sakura Cardcaptor, I loved Sailor Moon, I loved, after Pokemon there was Digimon, and then there was like the robot whatever, and just, I loved everything, and I loved the culture. And I remember going through those mangas because I was reading Sakura and I was reading Sailor Moon in French, and I was going through the pages and the food looked so good. Those onigiri, like I remember forever and ever how much I looked forward to eating an onigiri because it just looked so good on the manga. I'm getting emotional just talking about it. My eyes are watering. And okonomiyaki, I remember in a scene in, I believe it was Sakura Cardcaptor. She went with her friends and they had okonomiyaki. And it just looked so good with all that Japanese mayo over. And I hate mayo, like I hate North American mayo, but Japanese mayo is really good. So aside from the culture, which I love and I've loved since I'm very little, and it grew with me, and I'm still obsessed with all those animes and all those mangas. And although I don't read as much, I still love it. I love it. And also I still love video games. I still play, not as much as I used to because I just have the 3DS now, but I'm obsessed. Zelda is the love of my life. Like those games, I could marry those games. I could marry Link too, but that's another thing. And Sonic the Hedgehog is like another big part of my life. I'm for sure gonna get a Sonic the Hedgehog tattoo at some point, but that has nothing to do with my trip. So anyway, my best friend lives in Kyoto now, and when she moved, I knew it was the time for me to go because she's there. I miss her, obviously, and because she lives there, I knew she could show me around better than I could by myself. So yeah, I went to see her as soon as I had less money on my visa, because money at the time was extremely complicated. I was still working 70 hours a week, working all the time, not doing that much money, and just like having this crazy expensive rent. So when I saw an opportunity for me to be able to buy my ticket, I did. I booked with Expedia, which was fine. It wasn't bad. But I had like a lot of problems with check-in and boarding, so I don't know if that's because of Expedia or if it's, I don't know. So that's another subject. So I booked my ticket and I was looking forward to it so much. It's what kept me sane because at the time, before my trip to Japan, I was working a job I really didn't like. The people were nasty to me, so it wasn't the best time, and I tried to stay sane. I didn't do a lot of yoga. I mostly went to the gym to lift weights, which is amazing and I love it. I really love it, and it kept me sane, but I didn't do enough meditation, I didn't do enough yoga, so I was pretty much like slightly depressed. I was not in a good place at all. And Japan and going to see my best friend was the only thing that was like keeping me together, because a lot of stuff was happening in my life. So much stuff, and so much heartache, and so much pain, and so much sadness, and all those things. Japan, going there kept me sane and kept me happy, and I had a goal, and I always need to have a goal to feel fulfilled. So I knew I was going there, and I knew I had things to prepare, so it really helped me stay in a good train of thought and not like lose it completely and go like completely insane. This trip was what I was looking forward to the most, and I just couldn't wait. And I tried to learn some Japanese beforehand because I knew it would be difficult for me to navigate, especially being plant-based, but I knew that I would have to be more open and more flexible while being there, because not speaking the language and not understanding what's written on the menu, and them not understanding the concept of veganism, and even just being a vegetarian, even just the concept of vegetarianism, they don't understand. When we were in Osaka, we were going for, it wasn't udon, it was some sort of noodle. It was dipping noodles, so it was, they would give you noodle and a broth, and you would dip, and you had vegetables. And we asked, do you have vegetarian options? And the guy said, yes, yes, yes. Chicken, okay. Like, toriniku, blah, blah. See, my Japanese is not great. So he and my friend was like, no chicken. And she was like, fish is okay for now, because I was more flexible and I accepted that I might have to eat stuff that I don't want to eat back home. So actually, like, they actually made it vegetarian. I think the only thing that wasn't was the bonito flakes that they added on top. I think that's what it was. But at first he was like, chicken is okay, and then in my head I was like, but vegetarian is no meat. And she said no meat, because if you say just vegetarian, they don't really get it. Sometimes they will, and I'm really thankful for that, and I'm really grateful for the vegan restaurants that do exist and that I've tried and that were amazing, but for the most part they don't understand. So learning Japanese was important for me before going there, but lack of time and lack of resources, I used Memrise. It's a website to learn, and the Memrise Japanese one is good for the hiragana, and I don't think you learn much of katakana at all, but it was pretty good, and I learned very simple things. It was helpful. I could read some stuff once in a while, once in a blue moon, but it helped me. And I could have learned more, but I lacked time, and once I was done with Japanese 1, it was on to learning kanji on Memrise, and the way my keyboard is done, it just wouldn't read the right sound for the right kanji, so it took me 15 minutes to write one word in the keyboard, and I was just not having it, so I stopped. And I just kept on redoing Japanese 1 over and over and over and over to really settle those words in my head. So that's what I did, but I wasn't ready enough, that's for sure. Like I realized that once I got there. But before that, I did my luggage. I was going in March to mid-April. I know, such a good time. So I packed my clothes. If you've never been to Japan, do know that it is very humid, and if the weather says 15 degrees, if it's 15 with clouds, it's cold. It's very cold. I was extremely cold. Well, I wasn't packed and I wasn't ready for the weather. I assumed by seeing 15 degrees that it was going to be warm. I assumed it was 15 degrees there, it was 15 degrees in Canada, but it's not. It's very humid, so it's like it chills you to the bone. So when the sun is out though, 15 degrees is hot. So it depends. I would say make sure to pack some heat tech or layers, lots of layers, so you can just peel them off. I wasn't ready, I didn't have the proper attire, so I did get cold there, and also I had like a huge luggage. And upon arriving, I was in the rush, in the subway, with my big luggage, taking all the space. It wasn't good. It was not good. So if you can pack light, please do it. Please pack as little as you can and make yourself the smallest possible when you're in Japan, is what I'm saying. For the airlines that I booked, I'm leaving from Montreal, so I was leaving with American Airlines and American Airlines. What may I say about American Airlines? It was not good. It was not good. For the most part, some parts were okay. I had troubles with them. I asked them for a vegan meal, and I even called them because they said if you have special requests, you have to call this number. So I did, and I did 2 weeks prior. Not the day before, 2 weeks prior, and I asked, could I please get a vegan meal for my 18-hour flight to Japan? And they said, oh, sorry, miss, you are not business class or first class, so you are not allowed to get a vegan meal. Those diets are just not taken, they don't take care of that, pretty much. So after she said that she could not help me and that I would not receive a vegan meal for my flight, she said, but you can bring food on the plane. Feel free to bring all the food that you want. I'm like, yeah. I'm trying to pack light, so I'm not gonna bring a million sandwiches, and doesn't make sense. So I did bring some dates and some nuts because I know that they fill you up. And on the plane, I was very blessed that another lady next to me was vegetarian and that she asked for a meal and they fulfilled a request, and I heard that and I was like, hi. So I called the airline 2 weeks prior and she told me they couldn't do anything about my vegan meal, and he said, that's really strange because you can order it in. And I said that she never offered me that option, and he seemed shocked. So he gave me a vegan meal from first class, and it was delicious. It was tofu, collard greens, mashed potato, and this barbecue sauce. It was really, really tasty. So I'm very grateful and very blessed that I got this opportunity. But if the flight attendant wouldn't have been as nice, he would never have given me this meal, you know. So the airline, it wasn't that bad. The seats were comfortable. The first aircraft from Montreal to Dallas, Chicago, Dallas. It was Dallas. The first aircraft to Dallas was very small. I felt a bit claustrophobic in it, which I don't normally am, so it was strange. But the lady next to me, I think she could feel that I was stressed, so she talked to me and she made me feel better. So she was amazing, very thankful for that. And then I was lucky enough that in Dallas I just had a 15-minute layover, so I ran from my gate to the gate I was supposed to be at and bought a smoothie, and boom, I was off to Japan. And it's on the 18-hour flight that I was able to get the vegan meal, and I was really thankful for that. And the food was good. The movie choices were pretty interesting too, so that was good, and time flew by, honestly. I barely slept maybe 1 or 2 hours, so I was pretty tired when I got to Japan, but I was on this hyped. I was just on the adrenaline. I was so excited. I was so happy. Everything was just, my mind was blown, you know. When you arrive at Narita, it's just, everything is written in Japanese. The stuff is very nice. Even the border guy was fairly nice. And I've had some rude experiences with people at the Canadian airport, or sorry, the American airport. So stuff was very nice, very polite, I cannot stress how polite they are. But you know that if you're interested in Japan, you know that it's who they are. So you arrive at the airport, and I ordered a pocket Wi-Fi so I could navigate and not get as lost as I could have. I did not trust myself with a printed sheet of Google Map to find my Airbnb, if you know what I mean. So this subway was stressing me out. So I was running around the airport. I was asking all the staff, where is the postal service? Where's postal service? Where's postal service? I can't find it. I can't find it. So finally, after maybe 30 or 40 minutes of walking around with my luggage, I found the postal service, got my pocket Wi-Fi, sent a message to everyone that I love that I'm alive and I'm well and I'm happy and I'm on adrenaline and just not exhausted at all, just happy and excited. So I got on a shuttle, then I got on a train, and on the train I saw the most beautiful man ever in a suit, speaking good English, a beautiful smile. I hope I'll see you again. And I got to the subway, and that's when I started to feel nervous, and even with the pocket Wi-Fi I got lost. I did 2 or 3 or 4 changes of routes because I would get on the wrong side, going on the wrong direction. Finally got to Ryogoku, the sumo part of the city where my Airbnb was, and I loved my Airbnb. It was small and quaint and easy to find behind the McDonald's. And it was great, it was really great, and the price was good. And I left my Airbnb, and from there you've seen the footage. So I left the Airbnb, I went to a 7-Eleven that I've heard so much about, and I bought some onigiri, and then I went to McDonald's and I wanted to try the pink fries that were in season because it's Sakura season. And the lady and I had a lost in translation moment, and I got a Big Mac, although I did not want to, so I threw the Big Mac out and I had the pink fries, and it was fun. And then from then on, you can see my vlogs. They're not great, let me tell you that. I have learned so much editing this footage because I didn't review it while I was there, which is a mistake. And now that I've seen how shaky I was and how moving, little fly, go away, and how the camera is not great for movement. So now that I know that, for sure next time I'll take more of my time to do some beauty shots and more of the typical vlog with the focus on the face, and then you see the background behind, it looks nice and cool. So that's what I'll do next time. But my experience there was just, if I have to describe it quickly, because you've seen the footage possibly of my vlogs, it was magical, it was wonderful, it was more than what I was expecting. I just loved it, I fell in love. There's just no words. I felt at home. I was in the train going to Tokyo, and I just felt at home. I looked at the houses and the mountains and the scenery and just how peaceful I felt and how happy I felt, and I felt very welcomed, although I don't speak the language, and it's something I was very sad about. I wish I spoke more. The people were just so welcoming and nice and polite, and everything is so delicate, and the architecture is beautiful beyond words. I love the little alleys with plants and flowers. It's everything. It's so aesthetically pleasing to my heart and my soul. I just can't explain it. It's just, oh my God. I love it so much. I would go back in a heartbeat. I would go back today. I would go back tomorrow. I would go back. If I had the money, I would be here right now. Like I would leave Montreal. I'd be on the plane and I'd be in Japan if I could. But I know that I don't know the language enough, and that's what I'm working on right now. So I am learning Japanese right now. So I have been learning the language since I've been back. So I'm using my Pikachu notebook because I thought it's so fitting because I bought it at the Pokemon Center. So I'm using Duolingo and Memrise, so I'm learning basic stuff. Just words and hiragana, katakana. It's going well, honestly. Duolingo is such a good tool to practice. I created a club, the Canadian Learning Japanese Club, something like that. And it's going really well. I'm enjoying it. I'm doing Japanese every day. And I even want to register for a class because I am really dead serious about Japan. Like I'm serious about going back. I'm serious about learning the language. Next time I go, I want to go for, I want to say 2 to 3 months. Sorry. Woo! I don't know what I'm coughing for. I'm really serious about going back. I want to go, if I could go for 6 months, I would. But if I leave for 6 months, I think I want to travel around a bit more. So I'm thinking maybe starting with Asia, then finishing in Europe or something like that. I don't know yet, but the next time I go to Japan, I want to see north, east, west, south. Like, I want to see everything. I want to see Fukuoka. I want to see the mountains. I want to see rural Japan. I want to see everything. And for that, in order to do that, I need to learn the language. And it's not going to be easy, but it's something that I want to do. It's something that I'm passionate about. I just miss it so much. I think about Japan every day. I talk about Japan every day. And people think I'm obsessed and I'm crazy, but it really touched my heart, and I just really, really, really love it and really miss it. I just really miss it, and I really love it, and I can't wait to go back. And I think that's about it. I didn't want to go into too much details because I do have vlogs that I've posted about my experience, what I've seen. It's not the greatest. It's very shaky. It's not well edited. It's kind of a mess, but it's a slice of my life while I was in Japan, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna share with you my experiences learning Japanese, and if I do book my flight, I will let you know what I'm gonna be doing in details. At the moment, there's no specific moment when I will be back. I don't know. I just yearn for it every day. So thank you so much for watching. I am so happy that I'm connecting with you guys. I love reading your comments. I love hearing about your lives. I love you so much, and I am sending you so much love and so much light. Let me know if you've been to Japan. Let me know if you want to go. I want to know everything, so just let me know, and I will see you guys next time. Love you. Bye.